Hello makers, welcome to 3D Maker Noob. I'm Joe and today we're going to talk about FormFutura's ReForm rTitanX. Stick around. Welcome back makers. Next to me here I have a spool, or what's left of a spool, of ReForm rTitanX from FormFutura. Now, Titan X is already a very popular material from FormFutura. It's an ABS filament which has pretty much zero warping properties in it and is one of the easiest ABS filament I have ever used. And as you can see, I've printed many parts and I've also printed all the parts I used to upgrade the previously known as ANET A8. Now, while the Titan X is actually quite popular from FormFutura, this is the ReForm rTitanX. Now, ReForm is a sustainable initiative by FormFutura, and what they do is they grab the residual extrusion from their factory and they recycle it to make more ABS out of it. And this has the same exact properties as the Titan-X, but it's made out of the residual extrusion. So when they do the filaments, any residual stuff, any pieces that are left are reused to make the rTitanX. Now with FormFutura filaments, when you open the spool, you will find this sheet of paper right here. And this is probably one of the most ingenious things you can put in a spool, in a box with a spool, because it gives you a lot of information on how to print the filament that's in the box. Not only that, it gives you the information on how to print every single filament from FormFutura. It gives you the ideal size of the nozzle to print with, it gives you the ideal printing temperature, the heat bed temperature, the layer height, print speeds, fan speeds, flow rate, and retraction. So you're never lost, and if you have any issues, you simply follow these guides and you'll be sorted. Next, when you take out the spool, as you can see, it's been used quite a lot. You'll notice that the actual spool itself is made out of cardboard, recycled cardboard, and that is absolutely awesome, and it's something I heavily commend and I suggest other companies to actually follow. The spool is actually quite strong. Even though it's cardboard, it's actually really strong. I've used filaments with plastic which are less stronger than this in terms of filament spools, so it works really well. Now I have to say, I actually had a lot of fun printing with this material. Granted, it does still have that ABS smell to it, so if you are going to be using this, ideally you'd print in a well-ventilated place. It does not warp, so it's not going to make that much different if it's not in an enclosure. So much so that it is recommended to use between 0 to 25% fan speed for this. However, I've noticed that the lower you go on the fan speed, the better layer adhesion you have. If you go just to 25% or slightly more, I noticed that layers don't adhere that well to each other, so the lower the better. The only problem there is that you might have to increase your retraction because it might start stringing a little bit. However, aside from those, the first layer always sticks really well with any surface. I've tried with Magic Glue, I've tried without on a Buildtech-like surface on the Anycubic i3 Mega, and the first layer is always flawless and it sticks really well. It has a nice finish, and as you can see, there is absolutely no warping on the part. Apart from that, the layer is actually laid down really nicely, so it does have this feel of this sturdy, strong mechanical part to whatever you print with it. And I also printed this print in place wrench by Daniel Noré on the Most Fun Pro, and it printed perfectly fine. It works, it closes and opens, and it's quite strong, so I am extremely happy with this material. Now, any print I did with this was printed at 250 degrees, which is the median temperature, because it is recommended to print it between 240 to 260, so I printed it at 250. As a bed temperature, I always used 80 degrees Celsius. I used around 15 to 20% fan speeds for this in order to find the right balance between the stringing and the layer adhesion. And very important, it's also noted down on the paper that you use 106% extrusion multiplier, and I found that to work perfectly, and even the top layers finish off almost flawlessly. I have to say, this along with another couple of ABS that I have tried makes me less scared of using ABS. There's this sort of thing about ABS, it warps, it's difficult to print with, but the more companies use reformulated ABS in order to accommodate users, it's actually better. And I really do hope that more companies follow the suit, especially with the initiative that FormFutura took to recycle the extra waste that they do when they produce filament. So I fully recommend this as a filament for you to print functional parts. As a matter of fact, I have only printed functional parts with this material. If you do want to get your hands on this awesome filament, I will leave a link in the video description. There is also a coupon code which you can use, and you will get 15% off any filaments you buy from FormFutura, which is absolutely awesome. It is a non-affiliate link. There is nothing in this for me. This is simply for you guys to enjoy. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. FormFutura are always scouring my comments, so if you have any particular questions, I'm sure they will answer them. In the meantime, like, share, subscribe, and as always, happy making, guys.